Go for it.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. It's a Vita Economist. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. You know what time it is. It's Hump Day with our main man. He is none other than the Baron of Bitcoin himself. He is the Czar of cryptos. He is the Sultan of Silver. He is the Gandalf of gold. He is the Pathfinder on the road to Ruta. The man who wears his heart on his sleeve with spaghetti sauce stains on his tie. The one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, in no particular order, Bix Weir. Bix, what's up, buddy?
I'm crazy busy. Just crazy busy. In good ways and bad ways, but mainly good ways. You know, tracking all the crypto companies that I invested in.
Dude,
that are
awesome.
like companies that are going to bring products to market very soon, like Vertasium and Salt and PPT. Are absolutely going gangbusters.
Yeah, I know.
It's
nuts.
I warned months ago. I said, you know those long-suffering ICOs that you bought, you thought were way overvalued because, with ICOs everybody buys them and then dumps them day one and tries to make money. Well, when they start coming to market with product, that's when you're going to see the runs. And right now, I mean, Vertasium's up like 100% in the last week. Salt is up, I think, 20% today. And PPT is just on a roll. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that I have on the website. But yeah, it's good times. There's so much going on every level that it's kind of hard to know where, what to focus on the road to Ruta lately.
And where do you want to begin, bro? I guess let's talk about the big money coming to cryptos.
That's the most amazing thing is that the real big money has not even barely scraped the surface of cryptos, and they're coming. The herd is coming. You can hear them just stomping away, and the people who have been in cryptos for a while, a few years, or been through a couple ups and downs, are very reluctant to sell anything. So these big money people are coming in to the crypto space with a whole bunch of people who are not willing to sell. So they're like, okay, what happens when you funnel trillions of dollars, through a little tiny, Dixie cup type of thing? And it'll be really interesting what happens to the valuations of the cryptocurrencies. There's also some bombs about to hit, some things about to implode, like BitConnect is about to go belly up. For anybody in that Ponzi scheme, you can't get out. You're locked in for however much you gave them. But if you have any cash in there, you have any coin you can pull out right now, do it, because we're on the last days of that one. And there's a couple others that are imploding as we speak, which won't be good for the crypto space, but we've all known about them. Yeah. And there's also a train of thought that says, well, if we get the crap out of the way, the cream rises to the top, kind of like in the .com crash in the late 90s, early 2000s, where pets.com went away, but Facebook and Google and Amazon rose to the top. So if you
I was still mourning the death of mothernature.com.
Yeah. And there's a ton of cryptos like that, these crypto companies, but there's also a ton of good ones. So it'll be really interesting over the next, and then the government's coming in. So it's really interesting over the next, 2018 is going to be the year of the cryptos, according to Cliff's data, as in, 2016 was pretty fun, but 2017 was pretty fun, but 2018 will be just ridiculous compared to 2017.
I can't wait, man. I'm loving it.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're going to go from 1,000% gain that we saw in some cryptos last year to a 10,000% gain this year. That's how
kinds of gains.
And that's 10,000% is what 1,000 times what the current prices are.
I love it.
It's going to get really, really, really silly, and people aren't going to. That's the other thing is the holders of the cryptos. Remember, these are limited. Most of them are limited supply cryptos. The holders are not going to be getting rid of it because they don't want the fiat money. They know the system's changing. They're used to the volatility. They're just going to hang on and hodl. And I would, in the future, I'd rather have every other crypto. I would not like to have any unbacked fiat money printed by a government we no longer trust.
Absolutely, man. I mean, and who would want to trade crypto? What's been on a tear for what? Let me go ahead and get some U.S. dollars. How about some Swiss francs?
It's not the tear that it's been on. It's the fact that the old system is being replaced.
Yep.
The old monetary system and the old economic system is being replaced by crypto.
But Bix, governments are saying that cryptos are dead.
Wait a minute. What government said that?
Many governments have come forward and said that cryptos are dead. They're
well, I don't know.
These are the same who said that they're going to regulate it and they're going to ban it and they're going to do this and that.
They're going to regulate it, but the regulation on Bitcoin is the exact opposite of the government saying cryptos are dead. The government's actually saying cryptos are alive and will be with us forever. So let's take the time and energy to regulate it, to tax it, to do everything we can to get involved in it, because no one's going to be paying taxes in U.S. dollars in 10 years.
Absolutely correct. The world has changed. It's a whole new world. Cue the song from Aladdin, brother.
But we're so in the early days, and I'm excited for some specific coins like Litecoin. I think
I'm loving
Litecoin. Cliff's data says Litecoin, we're going to see a Christmas surprise. Now, Cliff's data on the cryptos has been spot on, almost to the dollar. And I've been waiting for the Litecoin to really gain traction for quite a while now, because I know there are things Charlie Lee's working on with the Lightning Network, with atomic swaps, and with this thing called Mast that will make a Litecoin available for smart contracts, so competing with Ethereum. Litecoin has just so much potential and is valued. There's 4 times as many coins as there are in Bitcoin, but it's so much faster than Bitcoin in approving transactions and things like that.
Yeah.
So I see a 4-to-1 ratio down the line, probably in 2018, Litecoin to Bitcoin. And if we think Bitcoin is going to go to 50,000 or 100,000 in 2018, which I do, you could see Litecoin going to what? To $25,000. If Bitcoin goes to, $25,000 from $100. That's the kind of thing we're going to be seeing in 2018 as the big money tries to come into this little tiny Dixie cup where nobody's selling. They're all trying to get some more. So yeah, it's very exciting.
No, it's incredibly exciting, man. And speaking of regulation, what about these crypto taxes that are coming about? What are they trying to do?
There's a lot of all around the world, the governments are reacting to the rise in the cryptocurrencies. Some governments, like Venezuela, is actually adopting a sovereign currency, a sovereign crypto called the petro. But they're all going to be saying, okay, obviously this cat can't be put back in the cat bag, so we're going to have to deal with this, and we can either embrace it and become one of the strongest innovative countries in the world because we're embracing it. But first, we're going to have to clean it up, because there's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of absolute insanity going on in the cryptos, that if we can clean it up and we can tax it, and just like a normal other, a capital gains asset, if we can get that all under control in the early days, then people will feel safer to come into it. We will grow. We will innovate. We will move into the next phase of our economic system. In the meanwhile, we know our old system is falling apart. We know we have to buy stocks and control the price of metals every single day for the system to stay together. That's the thing they've been trying to get away from since 1913, since the creation of the Fed, is they don't know how to get from a controlled system. And there were reasons why the Federal Reserve Act was put in place, I've talked about many times, but they didn't know how to get from the old back to an honest system. And so for the last 100 years, we've had manipulation. We've had every form of criminality just to keep the system together.
Yeah.
And this crypto economy and crypto monetary system is a solution to the problem.
Yep.
And gold and silver could never fulfill that solution because all the bad guys had all the gold and silver, and you would have to take it away from the bad guys to give to humanity to use as money. But in a high-tech world, that really didn't make sense.
Exactly correct. And every time you try to, absorb all the gold and silver and try to make a price move from the physical side to the paper side, it just wouldn't make any sense because they had quadruple the amount of paper than there is physical.
300 times.
300 times.
Look at, everybody says it's 101. Now it's 301.
No, it's over 300.
You gotta look at the volume, the daily trading volume. The where people end up at the end of the day doesn't really matter. What matters when you're setting price on an exchange is the daily volume.
Correct.
So JP Morgan can trade back and forth with itself using high frequency trading programs to steer the price anywhere they want.
Right.
In unlimited amounts. And that's, everybody's talking about the Bitcoin contract that's going on to I think one is starting on the 8th and one's starting on the 10th or something like that. But the ability to short and go long in the futures of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And Jim Sinclair says, oh, that'll make it a legitimate market. I think no, that will make it a criminal market like the ones we have today.
Correct.
So
what makes Bitcoin legitimate is not whether it's traded on the market or not. What makes it legitimate is because of the blockchain technology.
Well, true, but I mean in a legitimate exchange.
Oh, right. Okay.
So the current, the only legitimate exchanges, in my opinion, right now, are exchanges that where the transactions, where the trades happen on the blockchain, like EtherDelta. All the EtherDelta coins, the trades happen on the Ethereum blockchain. So there's no centralized pool of Bitcoin. Coinbase has its own exchange, which is a centralized pool. Poloniex has a centralized pool. Kraken has a centralized pool. Gemini has a centralized pool. None of those transactions happen on the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
If you can have them happen on the blockchain, they're legitimate. Otherwise, they're just pools of people trading money for crypto back and forth, and it isn't legitimized. It isn't an actual Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency until it comes out of the exchange and onto the blockchain.
Right. Exactly.
So that's the thing that needs to be cleaned up, needs to be understood by humanity. But the same thing happens on the New York Stock Exchange. They don't put the shares in your name when you go buy a stock. They put it into a pool, and supposedly every night the pools are, they take all their buys and sells and they net every day. Well, the SEC says over 300 million shares every single day are failure to delivers, meaning there's no exchange of title, there's no exchange of money, and there's no transfer of any kind of certificates. It's a huge game of musical chairs going on in every exchange around the world, and it's not going to end well for any of them. So this is why we hold physical silver in our own possession. This is why we hold Bitcoin in our own possession. And yes, you can have a physical Bitcoin wallet, or you can have a hardware wallet.
Yeah.
If you have a paper wallet, all a wallet is your public address and your private key. That's all a wallet is, for the most part.
Right. And so if you want to know how that's done, thecryptoschool.io.
Yeah, how's that coming?
Bombastic, man.
Are we up and running? Should we be sending people there?
Yes, send people, and I'll have the thing set up for you, for you to come on board, and for
those that don't know, V and I and his partner are talking about linking up roadtoruta.com with the crypto school, because I think it's important that people get the basics when dealing with cryptos. Not only the basics, but how to, things like how to secure your wallets. Yeah. So you're not keeping your coins in Coinbase or on an exchange or on a wallet on your iPhone. It's all about security going forward. And I think if we link up the two, I think we'll do very well out there in the world of education.
Absolutely. With our forces combined, we will be forming Voltron.
I hear you. So there'll be more announcements on that soon, I hope.
Very, very soon. When we have something, we're putting everything together for you that'll make sense for all of us, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes. It's going to be very exciting.
But before we move on, before I forget,
yes,
on the tax thing, the Bitcoin taxes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you have to pay taxes on capital gains, and capital gains are determined by how much you make on each trade. So if you buy Bitcoin and you exchange it for Ethereum, they'll look at the price you paid for the Bitcoin, the price you sold the Bitcoin for, what's your profit, that's the taxable amount, and then you have a new basis for your Ethereum. So all trades are taxable according to the capital gains tax.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody should be recording their taxes for their taxes, all your trades, and then at the end of the year, you pay your taxes. That way you keep away from the government trying to pry into your business. And if they want to pry into your business, that's when it gets really ugly. And there was a bill put forth in Congress on May 25th, 2017. Martin Armstrong talked about this bill. Now, Martin Armstrong was trying to avoid taxes when he got busted by the government. He was trading in gold scrap. And he said he got out because they declared him a bank or something like that. So he was trying to avoid the government. And we all know how that turned out for him. He was in jail for 7 years. The rules were not very clear when Martin Armstrong was, dealing in scrap gold. And the rules aren't very clear right now with the cryptocurrencies.
Right.
Not very clear at all, because like if you lose a cryptocurrency, you can write that off against your gains. So if you had anything in Mt. Gox, voila, there's your write-off against your gains in cryptos.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us did lose a lot of crypto in Mt. Gox, but it's a point in time thing also. So the cryptos lost in Mt. Gox were frozen in a dollar amount at that time. And now it turns out the guy, Karpalis or whatever his name is, who owned Mt. Gox is going to walk away with $800 billion because of the appreciation in Bitcoin, which I don't think is fair. And I think anybody who has had Bitcoin in Mt. Gox should be suing that Mark Karpalis guy.
Oh, dude, totally.
Yeah. So I don't think he'll get away with anything because that's an easy target, because he was the guy. It wasn't a hack at Mt. Gox. It wasn't the hack. It was the fact that all these exchanges deal in pools and they don't really have the cryptos that they tell all their customers that they have. That's what happened. Somebody, a large buyer, tried to pull his money out and it wasn't there. Tried to pull his Bitcoin out and it wasn't there. So, they shut down the exchange and said, oh, it's been hacked. That's why you have all these exchanges that miraculously have technological problems during the big moves in Bitcoin, especially the big moves up, because they know they don't have the Bitcoin. And Coinbase is a great example, because if you look at the fork that happened on August 1st, Coinbase had all kinds of Bitcoin people had in their accounts. And at first they weren't going to give anybody their Bitcoin Cash, the forked coin. And then they said, okay, we'll give it, because everybody went crazy and started to sue them. They said, okay, we'll give everybody their Bitcoin Cash, but it's going to take us 4 or 5 months to figure out how to do that. The reality is they didn't have it. That was the problem. So they had to figure out how to get their hands on it before. So now apparently January 1st, they're going to, allow Bitcoin Cash withdrawals. I don't know if they're going to allow the trading of Bitcoin Cash, as in people with the Coinbase wallet can buy Bitcoin Cash. If they do that, I think you'll see the same thing that happened to Litecoin. It went from $4 to $50 in a blink of an eye.
Right.
So I am a big fan of Bitcoin Cash because I think it'll be more useful than Bitcoin. Now, I get BTC, I get the whole storage of value thing in the security. And that, obviously people with a lot of money care about that.
Yes.
People with very little money who want to use the cryptocurrencies as a means of exchange, especially when the banks crash, are going to be turned into Bitcoin Cash. And I think there's a lot more room for appreciation in Bitcoin Cash than there is in Bitcoin. Bitcoin will continue to go up and double, triple, quadruple. But Bitcoin Cash has a lot of catching up to do once the utility of it is discovered. And the utility being very fast transactions and cheap. So we'll see what happens.
Crypto companies, brother. crypto companies that are coming to market that has been lit up on your radar?
Number one, Veritasium. Veritasium.
What a move that was, huh?
Veritasium sold for I think it was $1.50 when it ICO'd.
Yep.
ICO'd last, I think, March or April, and nobody was buying it. This was before that whole ICO craze. No one was buying it because they didn't understand what they were trying to do. It was Reggie. He there's 100 million coins that have been created, and so he put half of them out there, 50 million coins at $1.50, and nobody was buying them. So he just shut it down. He said, "Okay, you don't want to buy them. I get it. I'll change my business model a little." And so anybody who wanted a Vericoin at, I think it was $1.50, could have got a Vericoin up to 50 million, and only 2 million were sold. And then the ICO craze happens, and then Veritasium, Reggie starts going on his discussions with exchanges and hedge funds and all that, and all of a sudden people's eyes light up and say, "Oh my God, peer-to-peer transactions can take out the criminal banksters." So all of a sudden it blows up, and Veritasium went up to $300 almost instantly, and then it went back down to $80. But now the products are starting to come out. And the products are going to be amazing. Not only things like the Jamaican Stock Exchange doing peer-to-peer transactions, which is just waiting for some dried ink on it, really. He's also talking with a large top 10 exchange, which I think it's the DAX, the Deutsche Bank.
Yes,
German stock market.
Yeah.
Which is a $2 trillion market, and I think they're in the beginning talks there. That's my guess, because Reggie said it's one of the top 10, and Cliff's data has a lot of discussion about Veritasium in German. So he's like, oh, that must be it. I think that stock market is number 9 on the list or something like that. So Veritasium is in Cliff's data as absolutely going gangbusters over 2018, to the point.
What's Veritasium trading for now?
It's $141.
It's awesome.
To the point where it is talked about synonymously in value as Bitcoin. So I don't think it is. It's probably market cap, not price, because Bitcoin is only going to be 21 million. There's 16 or 17 million coins right now, and Veritasium can go to 100 million.
Right.
But there's only 2 million shares or tokens out there right now, and Veritasium is used in the process. So when Reggie signs this, does this deal with the Jamaican Stock Exchange, he'll allocate a chunk of coins so that the stock exchange can use the coins in the peer-to-peer transactions. So there will be more than 2 million. The current supply is a little over 2 million. There will be more than 2 million coins available as each new user joins on. But Cliff's data does have it going to equal, I think it's equal market caps. And the market cap of Veritasium right now is $286 million. And the market cap of Bitcoin right now is $216 billion. So that's do the math, 100 times. 100 times by in the next couple of years. That's a pretty good investment, if you ask me.
It's stunning, bro. It's absolutely stunning.
Another big one I'm looking at is the one I've been following for a long time because I understood it. I came from that world, in the banking world. It's collateralized loans. It's SALT lending, SALT. Really bright guys. Eric Voorhees is on the board. They've been doing all the right things.
Any relationship to Jason?
Jason who?
Voorhees.
I don't even know who that is. Who is it?
Dude, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th.
Jesus.
That's why I give the...
All right, I got you. You see, I don't like scary movies. I don't watch them. I'm not going to watch that. No, Eric Voorhees is one of the most brilliant crypto advisors, crypto companies.
Him on as a guest.
He started Shapeshift. He owns Shapeshift.
Dude, that's awesome.
And Shapeshift is a great site. He did Satoshi Dice, and he's knee deep in the cryptos. he's actually the guy I was listening to that got me out of the Bitcoin only mindset into saying, oh my God, this blockchain technology and these other tokens can really start and run businesses. And that was really cool when I came to that realization. So Salt is going to release their first product by the end of the year. Very limited release. They want to start slow. But these are crypto-backed loans. You give them your Bitcoin, and they lend you cash. Say you want U.S. dollars. You give them $100,000 in Bitcoin, and they'll lend you $80,000 in cash. Yeah. So you don't have to sell your crypto, which would trigger a tax event to get some cash out. Now you do have to pay an interest rate, and if your collateral coverage drops below a certain point, they've automated it automatically sells some of your Bitcoin to get your collateral coverage back. So it's all automated. It's really cool. It's kind of like Lending Tree. So Salt will be the broker between the banks and the borrower.
Smart.
And they use their contracts. And if you look at Lending Tree's business model, I think they did $380 million in business last year and had $320 million in expenses. Well, Salt, the expenses are almost nothing because everything is automated in smart contracts. You don't need the massive amount of lawyers and contract administrators and deal doers and all this stuff. It's pretty much all automated. So a lot of that gets passed on to the borrower. And then people with crypto loans, there's a lot of crypto millionaires out there now. There's a lot of crypto billionaires out there now. There's a lot of a couple guys who have $50,000 in cryptos and are all excited about it. Well, they can take a loan out on that and they can buy more cryptos. They can buy a house. They can do anything they want with the cash because these are not contingent upon your credit rating. And they're the bank cannot go after you for anything but the collateral. So it's an amazing product. Yes, the interest rates are going to be higher than a house loan because they can go after you for your house.
Right.
But if you take a crypto loan out and you buy a house with it, the bank can't come out. They can take your collateral, the crypto you gave them if you don't pay on your loan, but they can't take your asset, your house. So yeah, I think it's an amazing product. I know a lot of people. There's over 30,000 people signed up to get loans already. And the key to these guys is they've been so under the radar because they have to comply with a lot of the banking rules, the know your customer stuff and all that. So they haven't been able to advertise. They haven't been able to do anything. It's just been word of mouth, and it's going to be a monster. I think in the next 2 weeks is when they start their advertising blitz, and then the first loans come out, and then in the first quarter, I think they open it up. If everything goes well for the first few weeks and months, I think they'll open it up to everybody. And they've got a lot of other products as well, like a debit card, a line of credit type of thing. Lots of irons in the works, and really excited. But that's the reason we invested in some of these ICOs back, last year or at the beginning of this year, is because we knew there's real people doing real things with the blockchain that will revolutionize the world.
Yeah.
And change the way business is done, especially in banking. And we're starting to see that. Populous is another one, PPT, who
loving that one.
Yeah, that's invoice factoring.
Yep. That
is a huge moneymaker for the banks. And this is going to go around the banks. It'll be cheaper for the borrower. They even allow you to be the lender. And I'm not exactly sure how that works, but their product's coming out in first quarter, and you're seeing the spike in that token as well. And yeah, it's really exciting. When you look past all the FUD, you notice that nobody's really arguing that Bitcoin will get hacked and Bitcoin will go away.
Well, I know somebody who is, but we'll ignore her.
Oh, Lynette Zhang?
Don't mention that name.
Zhang went to Zhang. Yeah, I did. I normally don't watch her, but
I can't.
If I want a little chuckle, I'll watch. And she was trying to explain why the cryptos were going away in her latest video, and I'm like, oh my god, it's been months since she learned about them, and she still has no idea what they are.
No, none. It's beyond me. Anyway, buddy, silver manipulation, sub $15 silver.
You see that? Silver's under $16. It just got dumped under $16.
Yep.
Now, those who have followed my research for the past 20 years, it's all about how the silver manipulation is done, who does it, how they do it, and why they're doing it. A lot of information came from the Fed itself, from the silver at the Y-12 facility that was making the first atom bomb. 3 billion ounces were borrowed from the U.S. Treasury. That's why it's so important and it's allowed to go on, is that it is a military strategic asset. And yes, absolutely, silver has been abused more than any other commodity. There's no doubt about it. And will the silver lovers get their day in the sun? I think so. I think there's some payback to be done. I think the only thing that really pisses me off is J.P. Morgan is sitting there with 650 million ounces of physical. At the same time, they have a monster short position and have orchestrated this since they took over the Bear Stearns short position back when Bear Stearns went down. So that was all about silver, and Ted Butler's showed all the proof on that. And yeah, J.P. Morgan, the Operation Silver Slam in 2011, when silver went to $50, you got slammed.
Yep.
It started at $20, and Obama appointed Bill Daley as his chief of staff. At that point, I put out a message to all my subscribers. I said, look out. Bill Daley is what Jamie Dimon called his SWAT team leader. Whenever there's a problem, they would put Bill Daley at the problem and he would fix it. Usually this is the Daley crime family of Chicago.
Sure.
So Bill Daley went to President Obama's desk, right-hand man, his chief of staff. The whole reason he went there was to rig the silver market. Silver went from $20 to $50. Everybody got in, and then it got slammed down back to $20 at the end of the year, and Bill Daley left office.
That was it.
Only reason Bill Daley was sitting there with Obama. So it is much bigger than, the daily trades or, there's a supply shortage or any of that bullshit. It's all done with computers and derivatives, the whole thing.
And it would be great. I mean, how many of us would love to see silver above $20 or even at $20? That'd be fantastic.
I don't even know why we talk in those numbers. Silver should be over $1,000 today.
It should be.
But because it's been suppressed for 150 years since the Opium Wars, silver price has been suppressed. That just tells you how much of a coiled spring it is. And if I am correct that there are good guys taking down the bad guys, the silver price will be freed once the bad guys are taken out completely. Although I do think Trump is the guy rigging the silver market right now. And that he's rigging all markets. That's exactly what Steve Mnuchin did at Goldman Sachs. He was the head of IT, the head of computer trading at Goldman Sachs. That's why he was put there. Trump's like, we need to rig the markets a little longer.
Yeah.
So they are being rigged. I'd love to see free markets in America, but you're never gonna see it until the system crashes. And that's kind of sad. So what did we do? We invented a brand new system right next to it with cryptocurrencies, and that is taking off. So hopefully the cryptos can save the silver bugs from, just disappearing one day.
Now we have people like her out there spreading fear. I'm kidding.
But I don't know if anybody even listens to her.
No, it's just it's comic relief at this point.
There's certain people out there that say things and people send me emails saying, "Oh my God, this guy's talking bad about you," or this guy. I'm like, do people even listen to these guys anymore? These are the same guys who said stay away from Bitcoin at $10.
Yeah, stay away. It's in a bubble.
It's just crazy. And but hey, everybody's got their opinion, and I usually don't bite back unless someone bites me. So there you go.
I don't even bother. If you got haters, that means you're doing something good.
And the hate is going to hate.
That's right. Let's go. This is where we CJ cue Taylor Swift right now.
He's gonna have to look on his phone because he's got it in his top picks in his music.
That's it. I mean, I do. There's no shame in
I
mine.
love Taylor Swift. She's awesome.
Hold on, Bix. I got a treat for you. Hold on.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Careful, you might demonetize your video because you play.
Oh, damn! You're right. I'm not gonna do that. Even though we're probably already demonetized at this point.
Well, yeah, true. I dropped some F-bombs, I think, somewhere.
You already demonetized.
How's my friend Gus doing?
Gus is doing great, man. I'm looking forward to having him back on tomorrow.
Cool.
He's a hoot. He's
Tell
just
him I
doing
said
his thing. He's just, life is good. I mean, he's never seen so many liberal tears in his life, and it's a wonderful holiday season. Truly is a wonderful holiday season. I love it.
I agree. And those of you who haven't signed up yet, call Gus, call Will Lair at Perpetual Assets. The
.com.
big thing for all you crypto lovers. You can set up a self-directed IRA and trade cryptos within that IRA without paying taxes. The taxes are deferred until you take the retirement.
That's it.
So that's a huge way. If you like trading cryptos or you want to jump from one crypto to another, do it within your self-directed IRA because the taxes are deferred.
Or if you're just terrified of your 401k becoming a 101k all over again, just like in 2008, hey, yeah. You never know.
Well, yeah, you do know. I mean, they've got the laws on the books that allows nationalization of the retirement plan. So,
yeah, exactly.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and I know you and I have focused on the new system that's growing up, but there's a lot of people still stuck in the past and still very afraid that their life savings is going to go away.
Right. And speaking of systems here, we got a government shutdown coming up. What's your take on that?
I think it was planned many times, and they never had the balls to do it. Now, does Trump have the balls to do it this time? I'm thinking, yeah. I'm thinking with the 4,000 sealed indictments out there, there was rumors that there was some arrests today in Washington, D.C.
It could be. I mean, every time I see Hillary Clinton now, she has some sort of ankle bracelet on.
No, she wears one of those soft casts. Yeah. Same with John McCain to hide the ankle tracker that she's got on.
Right, and McCain wore it on the left leg one day, then the right leg on another day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I thought it was BS, and I looked into it. Holy crap! There's the photo. One day.
Well, no, he didn't have shorts. He didn't have shorts on though, did he? It could have. Yeah, who knows what's going on with that?
Something's going on. And then in the Pennsylvania event, you can see Hillary walking around, and as she's walking around, you can see something attached to her ankle. And on the bottom, she looks like she has her typical shoes on and stuff. So,
well, if you look at the amazing thing is, if you look at Hillary Clinton today, she looks 50 years younger than she did when she was in the election. And it's an amazing thing how that happens. And will the real Hillary Clinton please stand up? I don't know if the real Hillary Clinton can stand up at this point.
Yep. But I don't think so either.
That's conspiracy theory, and we don't talk about that.
No, we don't.
That's if you want to shut someone's brain down who is not very bright, all you have to say is conspiracy theory, and they shut up like a trap. They just keep their mind shut to any kind of evidence that comes out. It is amazing. If you say this is a conspiracy theory, bang. From that point on, they don't do any research at all. They don't care what anybody says. That's a conspiracy theory. 9/11 is an inside job. That's a conspiracy theory. Bang, they shut their head down. It's amazing. I've seen so much of this lately. It's kind of scary that people are willing to buy whatever the media tells them. And hopefully, I know there's a lot of people breaking free, but it doesn't seem like it's going all that fast.
No, exactly correct, man. Exactly correct. We shall see what happens, my friend. We shall see.
Yes.
So with that being said, man, we're at the end of the show. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I believe it. Hey, anybody out there who's not a subscriber to Road to Ruta, go to the Road to Ruta website and click on the free subscription on the left side. Just put your name and email address in, and I'm putting out something every day about these great conspiracies that are actually real. And my latest is I've said it for a while, but the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. I know who it is, and I'm very excited about knowing who it is. And I'll tell people if they ask me.
I think I have an idea who it is.
Who? Well, I think you know who I think it is.
I don't know. Who do you think it is?
His initials are AG.
Man.
He just came out today to talk about Bitcoin, and he bashed it, saying, "Oh no, it's a Confederate currency." That's his whole idea. That's how every time Bitcoin starts to move, he comes out to try to slow it down.
You think it's Alan Greenspan?
That's who it is. The world's best computer programmer in the 1960s, the guy who screwed up the Y2K, the 2 digits instead of 4. That was him. He programmed those early computers. He was a programmer his whole life. That's why he was put as the head of the Fed. Why the day he left the Fed is when supposedly in 2007 was supposedly when Satoshi Nakamoto started thinking about the double spin problem. And then in late 2008 and 2009, he came out with a white paper. It lines up exactly with Alan Greenspan, the world's best computer programmer since the 60s. Imagine that. And he had access to all the Fed computers, the NSA computers. I don't think it was him alone. I think it was him and a group of other people. Stephen DeVoe is one of those guys, along with, I forgot the name of, Greenspan had a computer flunky. They call him the copy boy in his Townsend Greenspan office. That was part of Ayn Rand's group, the collective. He was knee-deep in computers, and absolutely Greenspan knew everything about computers. Do you know who the only spokesperson was for Apple Computer besides Steve Jobs?
Alan Greenspan.
Alan Greenspan. He did a commercial for the Apple IIc in the 80s.
I remember.
Yeah. There has never been another spokesman for Apple Computer other than Steve Jobs and Alan Greenspan.
Very interesting.
That's the big secret on the road to Ruta. So make sure you go sign up for the road to Ruta, and there's so many more secrets uncovered there. Check it out.
With that being said, folks, we're over and out. Take it away, CJ.